It was a warm evening when he brought home a chicken, placing it triumphantly on the kitchen counter. "Cook this for dinner," he said to his wife Khala. She nodded with a quiet smile, preparing the meal while he rested. As they sat down to eat, savoring the meal she had lovingly prepared, a knock interrupted their dinner. The husband rose to answer the door, and there stood a poor man, his clothes tattered, his eyes pleading. "Please, sir," the beggar said, "I haven't eaten in days. Could you spare some food?" The husband's face darkened. "Get out!" he barked, slamming the door shut. The sound echoed through the house. He returned to the table, his wife staring at him, her expression a mix of sadness and disbelief. "Why did you close the door like that in the face of the beggar?" she asked gently. Annoyed, he snapped, "And what did you want me to do?" She replied calmly, "You could have given him a piece of the chicken, or at least spoken a kind word to him." He ignored her words, finished his meal, and left for his shop. But fate had plans for him. When he arrived, he found the shop engulfed in flames, everything he owned reduced to ashes. Devastated, he returned home and told Khala, "The fire has destroyed everything. I have nothing left." Her response was filled with quiet faith. "Do not despair of God's mercy," she said, trying to console him. But his despair turned to bitterness. "Go to your father's house," he said coldly. "I can't provide for you anymore." Without further discussion, he divorced her and sent her away, leaving her heartbroken. 2 years passed. Khala remarried Maitham al-Kufi, a man admired for his generosity and kindness. Life with him was a stark contrast to her past, filled with warmth, respect, and compassion. One evening, as they were enjoying dinner together, there was a knock at the door. Khala rose to answer it, and when she returned, her face was pale. "There is a beggar at the door," she said softly, complaining of severe hunger. Without hesitation, Maitham said, "Give him one of these chickens. One is enough for us. We will not disappoint those who seek our help." She carried the chicken to the beggar, but her hands trembled as she handed it over. When she returned to the table, her eyes were brimming with tears. Concerned, Maitham asked, "What makes you cry?" Through her tears, she whispered, "I am crying because the beggar is my first husband." Maitham looked at her with an expression of deep understanding. Then, with a solemn voice, he said, "If the beggar who knocked on our door was your first husband, then by God I was the first beggar." The wife was extremely shocked. Her heart raced as the weight of his words sank in. She sat in stunned silence, realizing how life's trials had brought them all full circle, each moment shaped by decisions, kindness, or the lack of it. The story highlights the importance of compassion and humility. It reminds us that arrogance and selfishness can lead to downfall, while empathy and generosity pave the way for blessings. Life is unpredictable, and the roles we play, giver or beggar, can reverse in an instant. Treat others as you would wish to be treated, for fate often has a way of teaching us the value of kindness.